Complex infrastructure projects demand senior-level leadership with both depth and breadth. These aren't simple builds. They're undertakings that stretch across local, state, and federal agencies, each with its own priorities, pressures, and politics. They require regulatory navigation, political support, community engagement, and a level of coordination that shouldn't be underestimated. Companies often assemble large teams to tackle these challenges. Internal experts, external consultants, technical specialists, legal advisors, each one highly capable, but each operating within a narrow slice of the larger picture. What's missing is the connective tissue, the common thread, the intersecting stitching that binds all of these forces into a coherent path forward. That's what cross-current infrastructure and political advisory provides. We operate where infrastructure meets politics, where technical plans collide with regulatory friction, public expectations, and multi-stakeholder environments. We bring clarity, alignment, and disciplined leadership to the environments where projects succeed or fail long before the construction begins. I founded Crosscurrent after 30 years working on initiatives that required massive coordination, political navigation, and institutional discipline. Projects where success depended not just on subject matter expertise, but on understanding the crosscurrents shaping the entire environment. Crosscurrent exists for leaders who know their project is too important and too complex to leave to chance. My name is Colin Kelly. I served as a U.S. Army infantry officer in the 2nd Infantry Division from 2002 to 2006 after earning my degree in economics from Seton Hall University's Stillman School of Business. My assignments took me to the demilitarized zone in South Korea and later to Anbar Province, Iraq as part of the 1st Battalion 506th Infantry Regiment, the Kurahis. Those years shaped how I understand the role of the United States in the world and the responsibility of a citizen servant leader here at home. They taught me how to operate in complex environments, how to navigate competing pressures, and how to lead when the stakes are high and the variables are constantly shifting. After leaving the military, I entered the energy industry where I've spent more than 2 decades developing projects across renewable power, wind, solar, and battery storage, as well as conventional generation, electric transmission, and waste-to-energy systems throughout the United States. Over the course of my career, I participated in the deployment of nearly $3 billion worth of energy infrastructure. My work has always centered on taking complex ideas from concept to reality, aligning stakeholders, navigating regulatory and political forces, and building the systems that keep our country running. Whether working with corporate boards, both domestic and international, local communities across 7 states, or numerous regulatory and governmental bodies, I've learned what it takes to bring the perspectives of many stakeholders into a unified, focused mission. After earning my MBA from the University of Texas at Austin's McCombs School of Business, I founded small startups and invested in early-stage digital technologies, tools designed to strengthen systems, improve coordination, and help people operate more effectively in a complex world. Those experiences, military, energy, infrastructure, and entrepreneurship, all pointed to the same truth. The hardest part of any major initiative isn't the initiative itself. It's the crosscurrents around it. Most organizations build their executive teams around 2 essential roles, a CEO and a CFO, with the CFO typically supported by a controller. As organizations grow in scale or complexity, many also add general counsel to manage legal, regulatory, and governance responsibilities. Beyond that, additional senior roles vary depending on strategy and maturity. Chief Operating Officer, Chief Investment Officer, Chief Technology Officer, Chief Strategy Officer, Chief Risk Officer, Chief People Officer, and many others. These roles are all important. They shape direction, manage risk, and guide the organization through complexity. But many organizations face familiar challenges. Sometimes the company isn't yet at the scale where it makes sense to fill these roles full-time. Other times, the senior roles are already filled, but the CEO and the board want to bring in an additional senior-level perspective. Someone who can complement the existing leadership without expanding headcount, restructuring the team, or disrupting internal dynamics. That's where fractional executive leadership becomes valuable. If your organization is considering senior roles beyond the CEO and CFO, but hasn't yet filled them, or if you want to add seasoned judgment to complement your existing leadership, fractional executive support provides the clarity, experience, and strategic altitude you need without the commitment of a full-time hire. Crosscurrent Infrastructure and Political Advisory provides fractional executive leadership. Senior-level judgment, clarity, and strategic alignment delivered on a part-time, project-based, or long-term advisory basis. We integrate with existing leadership teams and boards to provide the perspective, discipline, and political navigation required for complex initiatives without the cost commitment or internal disruption of adding another full-time executive. We bring the leadership you need at the level you need it for exactly as long as you need it. Right now, I'm the sole member of Crosscurrent Infrastructure and Political Advisory. And if you want to understand how I work, all you need to do is look at what's happening in this video. I conceived the idea for Crosscurrent at 11 a.m. on March 17, 2026. I identified a market need, partially validated the opportunity with some limited research, built the initial brand, created the website, and developed a full communication plan culminating in the video you're watching now. It's now 11 a.m. on March 19th, 48 hours later, and the entire business is built, operational, and doing business as Crosscurrent under my family investment company, Kelfi LLC. How did I make that happen so quickly? Well, I used every tool available. Squarespace for web design, Canva for logo development, Copilot for research, rapid script iteration, and image creation, including this virtual background. DaVinci Resolve for editing, PromptSmart as a teleprompter software, YouTube, LinkedIn, a portable mobile studio I've assembled over the past 2 years. Here's a picture before setup and a picture after setup. A Galaxy S24 Ultra smartphone, an iPhone smartphone, and a combination of ingenuity, discipline, and a positive mental attitude. This is how I operate. I'm quick, I'm effective. And when I see an opportunity, I move with clarity, precision, and momentum. I'll bring that same speed and discipline to your organization. If this is something you find interesting, if you're navigating complexity, leading major initiatives, or simply want to understand how to operate more effectively in environments shaped by politics, regulation, and competing incentives, I invite you to visit my website, URL in the description below, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be creating future video essays that break down how to approach complexity with clarity, discipline, and strategic calm. My goal is to help leaders see the forces beneath the surface and learn how to move through them with confidence. At Crosscurrent Infrastructure and Political Advisory, I focus on the sectors where complexity is the norm, where technical plans collide with political forces, regulatory friction, and multi-stakeholder dynamics. My work centers on 5 domains: energy, defense and national security, infrastructure and public works, real estate development and land use, technology and public policy. The organizations that benefit most from this type of advisory support are those operating at the intersection of infrastructure and politics. Privately held and publicly traded companies navigating major initiatives, private equity firms investing in regulated or politically sensitive assets, lobbying firms that need subject matter depth and project-specific strategy, law firms working on land use, energy, infrastructure, or government matters, government entities at the federal, state, and local levels. To support them, Crosscurrent provides a set of functional capabilities designed specifically for politically charged, multi-stakeholder environments. Corporate governance, helping boards and executives make disciplined, defensible decisions. Professional management, bringing senior level structure, clarity, and operational alignment to engage the people of your organization and bring the best out of them. Political advocacy, navigating policy, regulation, and legislative dynamics. Multimedia communication, shaping narratives and translating complexity into clarity. Public engagement, building trust, legitimacy, and alignment across communities and stakeholders. These capabilities form the backbone of how I help leaders move complex initiatives forward. Because in these sectors, success isn't just about what's being built, it's about getting it built. If what I've outlined is of interest, here's how cross-current engagement begins. It starts with a 3-month consultation built around 3 board meetings. This structure gives your organization the chance to understand how I work, evaluate the value I bring, and see the impact before committing to a longer-term fractional executive relationship. The first board meeting is an introduction. I join the CEO to outline the scope of the engagement, the objectives, and the specific areas where Crosscurrent will support the organization. After that introduction, I attend the remainder of the meeting as an observer, listening, learning, and understanding the dynamics of the board and the executive team. The second board meeting is also observational. By this point, I've begun to map the organization's structure, incentives, challenges, and opportunities. I'm looking for the crosscurrents, the political, regulatory, organizational, and interpersonal forces that shape the organization's outcomes. At the end of that second meeting, I work with the CEO and the board to identify one specific, limited corporate initiative for me to lead. This initiative becomes the focal point of the final board meeting. Leading up to the third board meeting, I develop findings, recommendations, and a clear path forward. I present these insights to the board in a structured, professional format, and just before the final meeting, I provide a short video briefing to set the stage for the discussion. The third board meeting is where I present the initiative, the analysis, and the recommended course of action. This is the moment where the board sees the full value of Crosscurrent, the clarity, the alignment, the strategic altitude, and the ability to navigate complexity. If, after that presentation, the board wants to bring me on as a fractional executive, we execute an engagement agreement tailored to the scope you need. Part of that agreement includes payment for the time spent across the first 3 board meetings. However, and this is important, if the board decides not to move forward after the third board meeting, then all of my time for those first 3 meetings is provided at no cost. This model ensures that your organization can evaluate Crosscurrent with 0 risk and full transparency. It's simple, it's disciplined, and it reflects how I operate, with clarity, precision, and commitment to delivering value. If your organization needs help managing complexity with a part-time executive, someone who can bring clarity, structure, and senior-level judgment to politically charged, multi-stakeholder environments, I invite you to visit my website. The link is in the description below. There, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation as a first step to explore whether cross-current infrastructure and political advisory is the right fit for your organization. I'm looking forward to the possibility of working with you and helping your team move complex initiatives forward with confidence and momentum.